All right, Good Night, Good Kind is back with a special Stanley Cup bowling episode with the one and only Nick Olczyk. Nick, we got you a Jazz Bear shirt here.
How about this?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I'm honored. I just was wondering, Mike, what took you so long to get me on the show?
Dude, it's all you. We tried this for a while. I'm waiting. I said game 2.
Yep.
We're doing it after game 2.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Unfortunately, game 2 is still happening. So.
And it's an overtime.
It's an overtime.
It's hard to beat playoff hockey in overtime. Tell you what, there's nothing that's much more exciting than that. So it's been a heck of a series so far.
See, you have a crazy, interesting story. And by the way, just big shout out to Ben Line-Newman, who's helping us shoot and edit this episode. Ben's a legend, man. We appreciate you. Short notice, great guy. Yeah. But over to you, as we can get into the bowling here. I don't know if you want to go first, we can do that, and I could honestly talk to you simultaneously.
Yeah.
But you were born in Los Angeles.
I was.
And we were talking about this. You obviously were in Pittsburgh, so your dad coached for the Penguins for a while, and you said Sidney Crosby's first ever coach on that team with Evgeny Malkin, right?
Yeah, and Mario Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux,
Not bad.
Nasty, one of the greatest goal scorers ever.
Yeah.
So just tell me like your journey from obviously born in Los Angeles to a guy whose dad is an NHL legend, and now you're doing the same thing as pretty unorthodox fashion as someone who didn't play in the league, but you're one of the top broadcasters in the league.
That's very kind. Born in 1996, back when my dad was playing for the LA Kings. You too?
Let's go, baby.
But how did I get into hockey? My dad played for 16 years in the National Hockey League, and I just, when you grow up with a dad that has had his whole life in the game, of course you want to play. You want to be just like your dad. As did my two brothers, who ended up both playing Division I hockey. One of them played semi-pro. My sister did not, and when we were growing up, my mom's like 3 different hockey rinks is enough to go to. So it was the 3 rinks, and then it was taking my sister to dance, because that was the one thing that she really excelled at. Of the many things, but athletically, that's what she really enjoyed growing up. So I always wanted to be just like Dad and play in the NHL one day, and unfortunately just wasn't in the cards. Go look at my hockey DB stats. You will be severely unimpressed, but I'm perfectly comfortable in that. But what I will say is the broadcasting side, I always felt like that's what I wanted to do. Whether I was playing in college or playing in junior, and there were those games where I was a healthy scratch, I wasn't picked to be in the lineup, I'd sit up in the stands and I would broadcast the game.
Really?
Like that's what I would do.
Like at Colorado, or even like back to high school?
100%.
Really?
Back in my junior days, towards the end of my junior career, it wasn't always in the lineup, and especially in college, didn't play a whole heck of a lot. So I figured, okay, try to use my time wisely. And it's funny because the other guys that were on my team that were healthy scratches those games too, they would kind of give me some crap about it. I'd be sitting off. I'd kind of have the game program in front of my face, so no one could really hear me, right? And I would be calling the game, and they poked some fun at me back then, and that's perfectly fine. But I just feel like I always knew that I wanted to get to this moment and to be a broadcaster in the NHL, living my dream. I mean, it's an absolute blessing.
So, and I'll let you shoot here, and then I want to get into a couple things. This is first shot of the day, too. It's not bad.
Not terrible.
Not bad.
Not terrible.
Not bad. Can you pick up the spare, though, dude?
That's the question. You could do things right.
It gets intense.
You could do everything right, but
I got a call from my boss, by the way.
Okay. Make sure you answer that, because we want to make sure that you can keep doing these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's. See,
it happened.
The thumb. It was the thumb. The thumb. Kind of the suction with the ball. It got caught. That's why you had the left curvature motion towards the gutter. Plus, I just didn't want the gutter to be too lonely. That's all.
Dude, the gutter thanks you.
It's just, we can't get the bumpers here, right? We can't raise up the bumpers.
We can bump. I think if we go to an overtime, we should bump.
Ideal. That's a deal.
Yeah.
That's a deal. Okay, 7. That's not terrible.
So
7 to start.
So I'm actually gonna bowl at the same time, but so you're my year, 2014 high school, right? Did you graduate in 2014?
I think it was 15.
2015. Okay.
So I actually had to go back because when playing junior hockey, I moved away from home beginning after my sophomore year. So I left home at whatever that is, age 16.
Yep.
I moved away from Chicago, which is where I was living at the time, to play hockey in Waterloo, Iowa for the Waterloo Blackhawks in the United States Hockey League. Most kids, most hockey players, unless you're in Minnesota, you're playing high school there, you move away from home to go play in a better league. And I felt like the best league for me was the United States Hockey League because I wanted to play Division I college. And that's the #1 feeder to the NCAA is the USHL. So I moved to Waterloo, played for that team for a year and a half.
Okay.
And then got traded to the Chicago Steel. So I made my way right back to Chicago. Played the rest of my second year there. And then had 2 more stops in my junior career. Yes, I was a little bit of a suitcase. I get it. And then I moved out to Duluth, Minnesota to play in the North American League, played for the Minnesota Wilderness. Loved everything about being out there. Cloquet, Minnesota, it's a coal mining range, not a ton going on, but really quality people. And then my last year of junior hockey, I played out east in Boston. The team was based in Foxborough, the United States Premier Hockey League, and then went into college, played 2 years at Colorado College.
So you're at that time you're like 21, 22.
See, that's the thing with hockey players is most people don't know this, is you're going in, if you have 4 years of eligibility in juniors, you cannot be 21 before the season starts. So my birthday being October 4th was usually just before the season had officially started. So I was able to play my 21 year as my last year. So then going into college, I was 21.
Got it.
So most kids are like, who's this grown man walking in here playing their freshman year of college hockey at 21, right? Because most people go in when they're 18. But that's the path that especially pro teams and college teams love, is going to that next level when you're already bigger, faster, stronger, older, and mostly more mature. I can't say that for everybody. But,
dude, you are a mature individual.
I take pride in it.
Sometimes, you know.
Let's see if your bowling ability is mature.
No.
You could still pick up the spare.
I usually do on the second.
You could still pick up the spare.
I was a horrible first, bro.
Did you know that the oldest known historical trace of bowling dates back to way back in the day, like the early 1800s?
Are you really?
Yeah.
Did you learn that from the
No, I just.
Do you know that? Really?
I just learned it on my way in. That looks pretty decent.
We're tied after one. We're tied after one friend.
Look at this guy.
So dude, so when do you know that you want to be a broadcaster? Like, because I started announcing when I was 15. Like, I've been doing this a long time, right? I started at 15. I was in high school. I had a way different path than you.
Yeah.
But I'm not an analyst. Like, you are a through and through full-bred analyst.
Yeah.
Right? Who just knows the game of hockey. But when do you know, hey, this is what I'm destined to do?
I go back to the days when I was 8 years old, in my bedroom, playing Xbox.
Yeah.
Whether I was playing FIFA or NHL, whenever I played, I had to do the play-by-play and the color.
Really?
And I loved to game. I still do. And I there was not one time I was gaming where I was not broadcasting. And yes, I mean, there were even those days when I got a little bit older where I'd play, Call of Duty or something, and I'd find a way to broadcast it. I just feel like it was innate to me.
Pulling out the snipe and you're just...
Yeah, right. He gets down into a crouch position, there was, I didn't know if I liked the game because I liked gaming, or because the broadcasting side of it for me was most enjoyable. And I think it was more so the latter. I really do. And that's why whenever I talk to young people nowadays, they're like, how do I practice? How can I say, look, you can get endless free practice. I guess it's not free, but you can get endless practice by getting a gaming console and playing the games. You're having fun, you're working on your hand-eye coordination, and you're broadcasting games, and you're multitasking, you're playing and you're broadcasting. So those things I really felt like, for me, when I look back, it really has been a lifelong passion for me in terms of the broadcasting side. And there is nothing better than the honor I have in terms of breaking down the game as an analyst. Because explaining the why and the how are the most important things for me. And to be able to break down the subtle little nuances of a very complex game of hockey There's nothing better.
Do you want to play call? Like, do you want to do what Matt McConnell does, or are you happy in your role right now?
Matt McConnell is a legend in his own right, and I wouldn't dare even try to do that, because while I think it sounds good in my bedroom playing video games, I know for a fact if I were to be a play-by-play guy, things might go a little south a little bit quickly. So I'm very, very happy with the role that I'm in. That's the role I want. I want to be able to explain the why, to people, and I'm just fortunate to be part of such a great broadcast team here in Utah. And, I mean, it's been stellar so far.
Got a great crew, man. And Ben.
Do we ever?
Great crew. Let's
tell you what, I couldn't do my job if it wasn't for the likes of all the people, especially behind the scenes, producers, directors, executives, and our great broadcast team with Maddie McConnell and Dom Moore and Mikey Folta on the radio, Kim Becker in the studio, who keeps me in line, because without Kim, the pregame show and the intermissions and the postgame show would just be an unraveled mess.
Unraveled.
And I can't forget Sarah Merrifield too, who does an incredible job telling the stories, interviewing the players. And there was a time where Kim was on maternity leave because she just had a baby. Hi, Jack.
Jack's cool. I met Jack.
Yeah, but he's not old enough to watch this. So maybe in like 7 years, Jack, when you're about 7 years old, maybe you can watch this.
And when you're calling the cut.
Oh, hey, that'd be a dream.
And hopefully I'm on the finals.
Maybe a cup here in Utah.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There it is. It takes a few frames, dude. All
right.
It's going to take a couple frames.
I'm not going to make any sort of thumb excuse there. That's just.
You got 4. You'll take 4.
So one thing I learned last time I went bowling. There was someone that was really, really good, and the one thing I have always taken pride in is asking questions. It's okay to ask questions. It's not uncool to ask questions. Every time he threw a ball, it seemed like it was a strike. So the key for me that I learned, and I'm not a bowling analyst, okay, but just a lot of people usually look at the pins. I have a tendency to look at the pins. In reality, you line yourself up with the arrows. That's why they have the arrows about, 12 or 15 feet in front of you. Aim for one of those arrows, and if you stay on that trajectory,
so you want to like line the pin up with the arrow.
100%. So for me, I'm attacking it. I'm gonna attack it from the right side here. So I'm gonna try to go third arrow from the right. And just go right in the middle of these. So let's see if I can. See if I can get it there.
Ice level.
So I'm just watching. All I'm watching is the arrows, and I'm not even worried about the pins. See, it's just I mean,
but
there's an execution part of it too. There's an execution part, and if that fails, then it looks like that, and I'm not a paid professional. I'm not Pete Weber, the bad boy of bowling. Who do you think you are? I am.
Dude, I think by frame 5 we're gonna be good.
I think so.
Try an 11. I like the 11.
We're gonna
have fun. Dude, this is my technicality. I like to kind of throw it,
Then just go throw it.
Like that. There it is.
That's gonna look really strong.
Not great.
Well,
that wasn't it, dude.
Strong in terms of the curve towards the.
It's gotta. Dude, today I bowled a 144.
Did you?
I did.
So you were in here earlier getting an upper hand.
I was getting shots up.
That's not legal. What is this?
Nick, you had all day to get shots
up.
What,
am I supposed to go to Brunswick zone?
Yeah, go to Brunswick zone.
Oh, jeez.
What do you... Oh, come on, bro. Dude, we're really struggling, bro.
I think what it is while you were practicing bowling, I was in the gym a little bit. I was in the gym getting a little pump on.
I did my Mike Menser workout today. To failure.
I think that's why I'm a little fatigued in that way, but that's okay.
Dude, you got to do a 2-day. You got to get the bowling and the lift in. It's like a combination.
That sounds like actually a very fun.
It is, dude. Here we go. Oh, nice shot, dude. Nice shot, dude.
It's just not fair. It's not fair.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not the most generous.
Okay, by the way, it picked all. Okay, no, there it is. Okay, all right.
It did slide though. You got,
Okay, chance for a spare. Okay, so we're aiming for arrow second to the right.
Here we go. You got it.
Nope.
Left. Dude, so as I'm bowling, I want to hear about your journey, like professionally. Like, so you're in Indianapolis, you're calling ECHL hockey, and then you end up with the Chicago Blackhawks for the 21 season as a fill-in analyst, and then that transpires to Seattle, and then obviously to Utah. But kind of take me through that, like those beginning days. Where are you at mentally? And how do you kind of maintain that frame of, hey, I'm gonna get there? I mean, obviously, like your dad is a Hall of Fame broadcaster, right? But besides knowing that you kind of have, all right, Eddie Olczyk's in my family, like, you know, like that's a great thing to fall back on. But knowing that you yourself, without your dad's help, can get there.
Yeah, it's first off, in my life, I've had more people than I could even begin to list try to make me feel bad for coming from the family that I do. Because look, were there upper hands and opportunities along the way? Yeah, absolutely. I'd be the first one to tell you that.
Yeah.
But also the reality is that even if an opportunity is presented to you through a connection or through a friend, once that door is opened and you get into that room, if you can't cut it, doesn't matter what your name is. You're going to be pushed right back out that same door that was open for you.
Absolutely.
So I think that's always the mindset that I've attacked it with in terms of my life. And I couldn't be more proud to have my dad be my dad. And the person that he is, the broadcaster that he is, the hockey player he was, the coach, so on and so forth. But most importantly, how he treats other people and how he has handled his life and his reputation and the way that he's raised me and my two brothers and my sister, along with my saint of a mom who took care of the kids many a nights when my dad was on the road playing or coaching for weeks at a time. It was mom and the 4 kids. So I have an incredible relationship with her too. Yes, I am a mama's boy, and I'm very proud to say it. So
should we go shout out to mom right now?
I think we should, and I think let's see if you can bowl a strike for it.
For Miss Olczyk. No, it wasn't it. Dude, I'm horrible right now, bro.
She makes really good chocolate chip cookies. Next time she does, you're not getting any because of that.
Bro,
but if you could get a spare here, you're back in the good
at least give me bottom of the barrel.
You're back in the good grades.
Here we go. There it is. No. Dude, that's horrible.
Okay. But, look, getting the chance to first call games in the ECHL for the Indy Fuel was an incredible opportunity. And a huge thank you still to this day, to Jim Hallett, who is the gentleman that owns the Indy Fuel. Before that, after my second year of Division I hockey playing at Colorado College, I had to make a decision. Do I keep playing? I wasn't playing a lot. Wasn't good enough. Or do I make a decision to pivot and do what I feel like I was always meant to do, which was become a broadcaster?
Yep.
So after my second year, I sat down, I had a talk with my dad. I said, Dad, I don't know if I could keep playing. I don't know if I could keep sitting out games and working really hard and trying to go above and beyond and be a great teammate and be great in the room and be great in the classroom and make sure that the coach had no reason not to play me, right? And I just came to the decision that, okay, it's probably best to stop playing. So I left school, college dropout. Kids, go to school, finish school, use your degrees, have great careers. But for those who do,
if you're as pretty as Nick though, and you understand the game of hockey, to drop out.
I have my mom to thank for both of those things. But once I moved back to Chicago, that's where I linked up with the Indy Fuel, and I called. I reached them. I said, hey, is there any chance I'd be able to call some games for you? And most of those levels at the ECHL minor pro, there's only one broadcaster, right? Only one play-by-play guy who does play-by-play and color. But he said, we'd love to have you. So my first ever broadcast partner was a gentleman that goes by the name Andrew Smith, and he could not have been more gracious for me, giving me the time, broadcasting in a way that he was so used to just being the main guy, but leaving things open and allowing me to come in and provide analysis after goals, during play, and just so gracious to help me along in those 3.5 years that I worked for the Indy Fuel. And so it was 4-hour drives every weekend during the hockey season, from Chicago down to Indy to do the games. And then during the week, I also worked behind the scenes at NBC Sports Chicago, which televised the Blackhawk games. So I worked cutting tape as an EVS operator.
Been there.
I worked creating and cutting highlights for the talent. But I also had this incredible software, like a telestration software, that allowed me to cut a replay, put it into the software, and then I had the ability to add pauses and then different effects and graphics, like arrows along the ice, little plates over the guys' heads to show you this is where they're going. And then once it came out of the pause, there was a little tracker that would follow the guys. So I was essentially doing my vocal analysis as an illustrator with those replays. And then those I would then submit for the on-air talent, the likes of Adam Burish and Steve Conroy and Patrick Sharp, guys that would explain it, and Jamal Mayers too. And that was an incredible experience. So I felt like my behind-the-scenes work has helped my on-air work tremendously.
And going through that probably gives you confidence to know that, hey, I started kind of doing the grunt work, you know, the nitty gritty, and now I'm here.
And I think also too, then you kind of get on a level playing field and understanding with the folks that do that now. I have such an even more huge respect for the producers and the directors and the EVS ops and those who do that same telestration software.
PAs.
And the PAs and the editors, like those really are the people that are the oil to the machine that makes it go. At the end of the day, if not for them, I'm not on air. Right? So the personalities don't have anything that they could do without the behind the scenes talent. And I will call those the behind the scenes folks talent, because they are extremely talented at what they do. So that's kind of where it all started. And then my work with the telestration software then brought me to work the Tokyo and Beijing Olympics for NBC, where I was working. I did hockey for the Winter Olympics. I did basketball for the Summer Olympics, but I didn't go to those places. I was working Beijing hours in Stamford, Connecticut at the NBC headquarters there. I was working Tokyo hours in Stamford. So like those days were amazing and taxing, considering you were going to work at 8 p.m. and you were going to sleep at noon. But those experiences, I think, for me were so vital in terms of the broadcasting side. And how I got my first gig in the NHL was super unfortunate at the time. Thank God he's still around. But Troy Murray, who was a radio analyst, and it still is for the Chicago Blackhawks, was diagnosed with cancer. So he needed to take some time away, get things figured out, get his treatments. And Troy, we're thinking about you and sending all of our very best prayers. He's still fighting it, and longtime NHLer and Selke Trophy winner. So I got no doubt at some point you're going to beat it, Troy. But the Blackhawks had seen my work down in the minors, and they said, hey, let's give you a 3-game trial run, and we'll see where it goes. And 3 games turned into 45 that year. I did the majority of the games on the radio, and a good heavy, actually I think I did probably 2 or 3 games on the TV side too. So it was a dream, because I was calling games for my hometown team. Spent the majority of my formative years, my teenage years, in Chicago. And those were the years of Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves and Brent Seabrook, Duncan
Crawford.
Keith, Corey Crawford, Patrick Sharp. And my childhood was seeing my team win 3 Stanley Cups in a span of 6 years.
What was it, 2010?
2013, and 2015. So watching those games, seeing those superstar players perform on a nightly basis, and being at those parades, I'm like, I look back and I'm like, why didn't you appreciate it more? I was just so used to seeing my team win.
Your dad won a Stanley Cup in '94 too,
Yeah,
right? So I'm
the
sure partying, you're like,
it's
it's all around me.
That's right. But getting the chance to work for the Blackhawks at that time was a dream come true in every sort of way. And so thankful to the Blackhawks for that opportunity. And then after 2 years of working for them, opportunity opened up out with the Seattle Kraken. My dad and I ventured our way out to Seattle, and I spent 2 phenomenal years with a first-class organization, the Seattle Kraken. From ownership on down, broadcast, hockey ops, players, staff. that's an amazing place to work, an amazing place for a player to play. And I was able to make so many unbelievable friends outside of the workspace, to friends that I still keep in touch with to this day, and look forward to visiting when I can in the summer. So, my time in Seattle was incredible, but was mainly doing the studio show there, pre-game show, the intermission show, and the post-game show. There really wasn't much opportunity to do in-game work as an analyst.
So you were not at ice level?
I was not. I was not. There was a different guy, JT Brown, who does a great job there. He was at ice level, and then the incredible future Hall of Famer Johnny Forslund and my dad would do games up top. So once you talk game calling, I mean, opportunity-wise, it was a no-brainer. And once I first talked to Travis Henderson and Craig Amazine, I was sold instantly, and went through the interview process, and was beyond thrilled, and I still am. Consider myself so lucky these days to the fact that they chose me and wanted me to be part of it, among, I'm sure, some other incredible candidates.
Yep.
I feel extremely lucky to be here and to be part of something that is special, and to be part of something from the ground up.
Yep. Well, because
I don't think it gets better than that.
Well, because when you get to Seattle, by the way, we got to roll here. Oh my Lord! But when you get to Seattle, I mean, they're what, 1 or 2 years?
It was their second year.
Season.
It was their second year.
Yep.
Second year.
So 21, 22 was year one, and you joined in 22, 23.
Yeah. And it was unreal. It was a great time, and a team that's got a really, really great future.
Here we go. Nice shot, Nick.
Okay.
And then in 23, the Kraken go to the Cup.
So they went to the playoffs.
Yep.
And they won. They beat the Colorado Avalanche in the first round.
Yep.
The defending Stanley Cup champions.
Yep.
And that was a huge deal for the city. And just when you make the playoffs and you're a new team, the buzz that does is it's hard to even describe.
Yep.
And that's why I'm so excited for Utah to finally have their chance eventually, whenever it happens, next year, whenever it is, just to get to the playoffs and to see what that's like. A playoff game at Delta Center.
Gotta be.
That's going to be hard to beat. With the atmosphere the way that it is, not in the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be.
We're going to have to talk to Ryan about getting a new roof, though. You know.
Or we'll just grab some screwdrivers and we'll all catapult up there and just bolt on the
bolt
roof.
it up. We could do that too. We'll get you up there. Yeah. Ice level or roof level.
I'm afraid of heights, so I'll leave that to you. Yeah, it's just it's no touch right now.
It's hard. Here we go.
Still winning though, so that's positive.
You're up for the brief period.
Yeah.
I think we can go full time in like I think we can go frame by frame now. Here we go. Oh, dude.
Okay. Solid.
It's rough, dude. I get the little jitters, man.
Game's still going on, by the way.
What do we got?
Second overtime.
Yeah.
17 minutes left.
Nikes.
All right.
It's yours.
I think we really like that left.
We really do. Should we? No. Let's keep this rolling.
We don't want it to be lonely.
I think we just got to get a rhythm going.
Yeah. We just need a strike, and then we'll be.
Need a strike.
Like how that's not a strike. I don't get it.
Dude, the pins.
It was right down the middle.
It was down the pipe. The pins, dude.
Are those regulation?
They're not regulation.
Okay,
bro.
so that's why.
It's a handicap.
That's why I got it.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a handicap.
I'm gonna see if I can.
It's your shot.
It's okay. That's okay.
I got excited.
It's okay.
You like the 11. Nice shot.
That's got to be it.
You got him.
You would think.
Nice shot, dude. Nice shot.
Finally.
Here we go.
It's about time.
Here we go. Here we go. Come on, bro.
It's a travesty. How is that not a strike?
Absolute travesty, dude.
How is it not a strike? Let's see.
Come on. Nah, dude.
All right.
Hard. Can you bowl and talk at the same
Yeah,
time? Or is
yeah.
that,
Yeah, of course. Is that the
There's your 11.
There it is.
Nick, what's a moment in your career, where you really saw, you're against the wind. So it's a low point, but it pushed you to where you are now. Do you have like a specific moment you look back on? Oh, okay. How smooth?
I would say, I think once I started to do my first couple games in the NHL,
Yep.
you start to hear feedback from people. You only got to where you are because of your name.
Yep.
Your dad got you wherever. I think that initially was a little bit of a struggle.
Yep.
For me mentally. But then at the end of the day, you realize that it doesn't matter who you are. There's always going to be a certain section of people that don't like you for X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
And then the people that do like you. And I've found that of course it's hard. You get 10 comments at you, right? 9 could be compliments, 1 could be something negative, and
Yep.
you always kind of lean, but everything's great, but
Yeah.
that kind of tears a little
It's
bit
like
apart.
Pat Mahomes always thinks about the losses.
Yeah. So I discovered that like even some of the most successful, amazing people say bad things about and they don't like for whatever reason. So I think learning how to deal with that, and at the end of the day, I'm doing what I've always wanted to do.
Yep.
And I know that, as we talked about earlier, I've put in a lot of work to get here. Have there been opportunities afforded to me? Yeah, absolutely. But I felt like with those opportunities, I did something with them. So I just think testing my own confidence, and once you know that you belong, I think that puts everything else to rest and allows you to just go and do your job no matter what it is.
Yep. All right, hit this. Well, Nick, also nice shot. You got it. You got 2. It's not that easy, dude. And he's pissed. The Blackhawks give you a 3-game stint. It's not like the Blackhawks say, "Hey, we're signing you to a full season."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly
they gave you a chance.
Yeah.
You were given an opportunity, and you rose to the occasion for the opportunity.
That's all you can ask for.
In those 3 games, are you nervous or are you pretty
Oh
confident?
my God.
Yeah.
Unbelievably nervous.
Really?
And just wait till you hear it. How about I got my start in TV. So
Yeah.
it's a mid-season game that year.
Yeah.
We're in Minnesota at the XL Energy Center.
Yep.
Blackhawks against the Wild. I'm doing radio with the great John Weideman on Blackhawks radio. After the second intermission,
Come on, dude.
there was I think there was a little piece of something on the floor there. That's why it went that way. So I think that, and there was a dog barking too. So I think that's what threw you off just a little bit there. So I'm trying to help you out a little bit.
Dude, why don't you throw one in the gutters again? Get it in the first shot. Yeah.
After the second intermission, I'm doing radio. My dad's doing TV.
Yep.
Same game.
Yep.
I'm radio, he's TV. I get a tap on the shoulder saying, you need to come in and do TV on the analyst side. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. I walk in to the TV booth, which is probably 30 feet down.
Yeah.
And there's like 12 people in the room, way overcrowded. And I kind of filter through the people that are standing around someone, and it's my dad sitting in a chair bent over. And my dad is having a health episode.
Oh.
And he is surrounded by doctors. And he looks up at me, he stands up, he gives me a kiss, and all those people are rushing him out of the room. And lo and behold, there's an ambulance downstairs waiting for him to take him to the hospital. He's had a fight with cancer before, which is super integral to our family, especially hockey fights cancer.
Yep. There's an iconic image of you on that night, holding my dad. I stand with my dad. I'll never forget.
It's so he beat stage 3 colon cancer, I think, going on 7 or 8 years ago now. So it's just amazing how long ago it was. But this was a little bit different from that. But he had an episode and was on his way to the hospital, and I was asked to step in and do television for my first ever TV game. 3rd period, Blackhawks against the Wild.
Wow.
Talk about...
and right after that?
Right after, yeah.
So you're like, your head's probably elsewhere, and you got to call this game at the same time.
My brain and my mind was in that ambulance with him going to the hospital. Like, my hero, my idol, my everything, my dad is going to a hospital in an ambulance right now. And I'm asked to come in and do television. Like that, to me, I always think back to that. I'm like, if I can get through that, like then I'm pretty good with getting through anything in terms of nerves and whatnot, because that to me was a scary moment, because there was only one thing I was worried about, and that was him.
Yep.
But I did my best. I tried to call the game. The Hockey Hall of Famer Pat Foley took great care of me, and the rest was history.
How do you find it within you, dude? Like, listen, I do something similar to what you do, right? And there are nights that are harder than others.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade. There are nights where, hey, you're going through it. Take the shot. Let's see what you got going on here. And I'll tell you what's going on in overtime.
That's terrible. Still going?
Yeah, 7 minutes into the second.
Here's what I will say.
Yeah.
I got one more.
I'm getting overzealous.
I will say that I think this goes for anything in life.
Yeah.
But you really find out how good you are when the times are the toughest.
Yep.
You find out what a good broadcaster you are or not when your team's in a 5-game losing streak.
Yep.
When they've won 5 in a row, it's easy.
Right.
The stories write themselves. It's easy to gloat about the guys, right? Or to use what the kids say, it's easy to glaze the guys, right?
Yep.
Easy to do that.
Yep.
But when the hockey is tough, or the baseball is tough, or the basketball isn't jumping off the page, I think that's when you really earn your keep and you earn your money as a broadcaster to pull out not just the good things and not to just a sugarcoat, but to actually teach and take people through the ups and downs and the peaks and valleys of a game or of a stretch or of a season. That's what it's all about.
It's the challenge of times.
Yeah.
It's the challenge of times.
Speaking of a challenge, I haven't had many spares tonight. Let's see if we can get one here. And that's
you got one spare. Dude, you had one spare in the 5th frame. I haven't gotten jack, dude. So you're doing pretty well.
I'm up by 20.
You're up by a lot, dude. I need a couple of strikes here.
Let's see how long it lasts.
I was at 144 to just, what am I doing? Yeah. See what I got here. There it is.
That looks good. That looks,
split.
Baby.
It's a split.
It's the 7-10 split.
Nick.
In hockey, when the puck goes off one post and hits the other, that's what I call the 7-10 split.
7-10 split.
7-10 split, because that's the 7th and 10th pin. So what are you going for?
I don't know. I mean, what do you do?
You got to hit the outer edge of one of them.
Well, you're screwed either way. You're not getting a spare.
Yeah, but if you hit the outer edge hard enough, it'll shoot across.
Oh, come on.
Or to the left. Yeah, that's what you got it. Which one do you want?
I want left. Let's go left.
Okay. So you got to line up over here.
Yeah.
And you got to aim for the very left side of the pin, so that way you hit it on an angle that shoots it to the right.
It's got to shoot.
Hey,
it's been done.
This podcast will get 1 million views if you hit this shot.
We can AI it though after.
That's true.
We can AI it.
That's true.
And you'll do the same thing.
Yeah,
yours.
exactly. Let's go.
It could be like the only time ever. No. Middle. It was a good field goal.
For 3.
Tyler Bass. Straight through.
That's right.
Send him the Super Bowl on that one. All right, here we go. 59-47.
Okay, we got 3 frames left.
Let's
It's a tight one. I just wanted one. I just wanted that one was looking low.
If this were horse and you went for that pin, to be impressive. We could do a horse next time.
By the way,
yeah,
I'm glad you picked bowling.
Bowling, yeah.
Because for as bad as I am at bowling, I'm worse at basketball.
Ben Line Newman, just absolute the patience from this guy, by the way. 40 minutes we've been going, dude. Nice shot. We need one strike.
This is rigged. If we go this whole time without a strike, it's embarrassing. But it's okay, we're having fun, good conversation.
Come on, bro, we're playing house money right now.
Right.
As Tim Drisden likes to say. There we go. Oh, come on, turn.
That had a little curvature back.
Dude, I think it's in the follow through. The art is in the follow through, dude.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Spare, come on now.
Art's in the follow through, Nick. Art's in the follow through. Come on.
Yep, that's it. That's why I don't analyze bowling.
Come on, dude.
Let's pick up to the 12.
Yep.
And let's see. We got 2 frames left.
Yep. Here we go. Down to the wire. It's a horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like Nick, we should do this again. That was a nice shot.
That's ridiculous. I saw the speed gun that was 38 miles an hour, and it's still not a strike.
Oh.
Is there a score? Still going?
Florida just scored.
No.
Yep. Right through Stu Skinner's legs.
Wow.
Game over.
Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
How about
So
that?
that's a good place to pick up. You got Florida now, ties the series at 1. I mean, last year.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
Last year.
A deadline pickup. Former captain of the Bruins.
Yeah.
Spent his whole career there.
So it's a good place to pick up because, I mean, Ben's going to somehow hopefully turn this around. But
yeah.
Stanley Cup tied 1-1.
Yeah.
Last year, Edmonton went down 3-0, like, tied it up, and went obviously 7 to Florida, and then Florida won. What do you got though? Tied 1-1, headed back to South Florida.
Yeah, it's. I actually was really excited that it was a rematch.
Yeah.
Because you see, especially a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning when they won their back-to-back cups.
Yep.
They had experience going deep, and for me, there's something so special about teams that go deep, or they go to the Cup Finals and they lose, and then they come back the next year, or a couple of years later, after consistent deep runs. Oh my! It doesn't want a strike.
It doesn't like the Utah.
It doesn't like
something.
the strike.
I don't know
I
what's
mean,
going on
if that's
there.
the case, then the heck with this.
That is unbelievable.
But no, I think it's been a heck of a series, and I also think you got it.
Come on.
No. I just don't know. Bowling isn't for us.
Keep going, dude.
Bowling's
This is
not for us.
depressing.
So, yeah, I think both teams had great regular seasons. But especially for the Edmonton Oilers, I think this year something that was a struggle for them last year was defending as a team.
Yep.
And they add guys like John Klingberg and Jake Wallman. And those are guys that can not only defend hard, but they can get pucks out of their zone quicker and into the hands of the best players in the world, a la Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid.
Yep.
So I feel like the Oilers are in a much better position than they were. For Florida, experience. The more you watch these games, the more you watch how Florida plays, you can never underestimate experience this time of the year. The ebbs and the flows, right? Edmonton won game 1, dramatic fashion. Florida takes game 2 in overtime, and it was the guy that they acquired at the deadline, Brad Marchand. So, and just the experience of this team mixed with some of the great young players that they have, I think there's no doubt that this is a series that could, again, go 7 games. And it's anybody's series at that point in a game 7.
And Sergei Bobrovsky is stupidly
ridiculous.
good.
That's why I have always, my rule of thumb in a series is if it's evenly matched, I look to the guy between the pipes.
Yep.
I'm like, which goalie is the better goalie? Oh, okay, well then, I go look at Dallas losing.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Otter.
I give Jay Gottinger, whatever team he's playing on, if it's an evenly matched series, which it was, I give him the upper hand. And look what happens, the Dallas Stars lose. So more and more, it's getting more and more hard to predict these series and these games, which I think is the great thing about the state of the game of hockey right now, is the parity's so close. And the best part about playoff hockey, literally anything can happen. And anybody can beat anybody on any given night. And to me, that's what makes our sport so special. All right. I think it's time someone gets a strike. And this is
you
the
want to say
last
goodnight?
frame.
This is it.
10th frame. Maybe if I say, a little good night, good kind. Good night, good kind.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that going to help the ball?
Maybe.
Okay.
But now you're Mariano Rivera in the 9th, You got to close it out. It's a big one for you.
Enter Sandman.
There you go. Should we play it? There we go. Oh, dude, nice shot. Nice shot, dude. You get 3 balls, though, dude. If you hit this, you get a 3rd.
It should have been a strike.
I know, but dude, you're at 84.
Folks, I don't know. I'm trying.
I think we rematch this one, Nick. Before opening night next year, maybe we do a little rematch.
Okay, I gotta spare this.
Yeah.
And if I do, then I get one more shot, right?
Precisely.
Okay.
Here we go. Nice shot. You got it. You got it. Cleaned it up.
Okay.
Cleaned it up, dude.
We're going for something.
Here we go.
We got one more.
I'm gonna have to 3 strikes in a row, dude. It's gonna be hard for me.
Remember what we said earlier about when times are tough?
This is what men are made of right now. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, you got 3.
Right.
You got 3.
All right.
Gonna get you to an 88.
88.
It's not bad.
A couple good hockey players that wear that number.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane.
Yeah. Okay, Patrick Kane.
David
there
Pastrnak.
You go. Yep. Pasta. Oh, come on, dude.
Looks solid.
Finally.
I mean, come on.
We'll take it.
Someone had to get a strike. Someone.
I need one more though.
Oh my God! You might if you get through. Oh.
Here we go. Oh, come on, turn. Nope.
Okay.
All right, so that gets me to 82.
Yeah, I think
it's over. Well, I got a shot at 3. I got a shot at 3.
You got to finish.
Wait, doesn't mathematically I pick up more points though, or no?
I'm not. I don't know.
I don't know, but I don't think it's enough. Here we go. No, it's game. The foul. Just give him the foul. I did. I was gonna gutter it. I'd rather get the F on there. That's game. You won it. 88, 82.
Great job.
Awesome time learning your story. Anything else you want to talk about with the Stanley Cup here? Game 2. I don't know if Ben's going to have an opportunity to turn anything around here, but
well, either way, look, whether turning around in time for Game 3, whatever. If you like hockey, if you're new to hockey, if you're watching this right now and you've never seen hockey, watch the Stanley Cup Final. Because I can guarantee that there's going to be something that you like. You like elite level athletes trying to beat the heck out of each other while trying to put a little 3-inch black rubber thing into a goal that's 6x4 past a guy that is 6'5" and can do the splits.
Yep.
Seems pretty exciting to me. All the while, these guys skating around on ice with blades that are 1/8 of an inch thick. To me, the greatest thing about our game is this time of the year. So watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, Oilers, Panthers, watch the final, and before you know it, September and October will be here, Utah Mammoth.
It's very exciting.
I can't wait for that season.
Very exciting, man. And real quick, you were just in Florida for the playoffs, for the ECF.
Yeah.
Just real quick, in 2 sentences, sum up this team and seeing them live.
Panthers?
Yep.
Yeah, they can play any which way you want. They've got toughness, they're mean, but they have more than enough ability to fill the back of the net whenever they want. And as we talked about earlier, they've got one of the best goaltenders in the entire league. That's why they won the Cup last year. That's why they got another great chance to do it this year.
So Edmonton's going to have to at least split in Florida to make this thing
the great
possible
thing
for them.
The great thing about the Edmonton Oilers,
Yep.
they've got the 2 best players in the world,
Yep.
Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid.
Yep.
You can never underestimate those guys. That's why I think this is such a great series. And tied 1-1 after 2, it's setting up for a 6 or 7 game series, no doubt.
Awesome. Nick, you're a stud.
Pleasure.
Love having you on the program.
Pleasure, Mike.
First bowling episode, we're going to have to bring it back. You smell great.
Who won?
You did win. And you got your shirt, too.
It's okay.
You got your shirt, too.
It's okay. I got to look up at you, so you win in life.
No, come on, bro. We're going to the Westerner right now. Let's see who's going to win in the bull riding competition. And honestly, catch Nick on SEG Media all next fall and obviously all next winter for the Utah Mammoth. Inaugural season of the name.
Yeah.
Not inaugural season, but second season, inaugural Mammoth season. So catch Nick and obviously catch Nick's dad right now on TNT. Games 3 through 7 on TNT. Nick, you're the man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Pleasure, buddy.
Good night. I want to take one more shot, I'll call it a day right now. Oh, yeah. I'll take the one, bro. I'll take the one on that. Do you want to go out on one?
I'm going to clean it up.
Clean it up for me.
Was that the 12?
That's the 12. I like the 12, but you gotta have a lot of power. You gotta have a lot of power.
I think I got some pretty decent power.
Nice shot. You got the split.
Still no strikes.